Arizona. Speaking of the Trojans, let's take a look at their starting lineup. Barrett, just a freshman, will start at the point guard position. We talked to you about Cassie Harberts. She's going to have some big-time help with Marinacci, the lone senior on this club, who will rebound the heck out of the basketball for the USC Trojans. Arizona will counter with this starting five. Davlin White just went over the 2,000-point mark. Are you kidding me? In her historic career, Crutchfield, Griffiths, Barnes, and Gloyd, they're scoring and rebounding from every one of those Wildcats. And it all starts with the gal who stirs the drink, and that is Dav White. Nia Butts is in her 5th year as the Wildcat head coach. Has done such a great job in keeping this program where it needs to be. A couple of years ago was her best season, taking this club to the WNIT, an assistant for Kentucky, and played all those seasons for Pat Summit as a player at the University of Tennessee back in the 90s. Michael Cooper, the boss of the USC Trojans, in his 4th year roaming the sidelines. We all know him from his LA Lakers days, and obviously all the historic moments he had with the WNBA LA Sparks, and now trying to get these Trojans back to their glory years. 61-37 mark. Coop comes into this game with the USC Trojans, and Roz, we're looking at two teams that want to establish a little momentum going into the Pac-12 tournament, which is just around the corner.
Davlin White actually told me before the game, she said, it's not how you start the season, but how you finish it. And so that's how she's looking at this game. It's about momentum. It's about figuring out how to get yourself going.
Before this game tips off, let's take a moment to tip our cap to the great Davlin White, who was honored just a few minutes ago, becoming the 2nd player in Arizona history with 2,000 career points and counting. And there's Dav's dad. Oh, man, that is so special. Just went over the 2,000-point mark the other night against arch rival Arizona State.
Yeah, it runs in the family. Her dad of baseball legacy, and here Davlin White doing it on the basketball court.
Arizona, home whites, winning the opening tip. USC in their road blacks.
USC in a player-to-player defense. They want to crowd Davlin White.
Nine on the shot clock for White. Step back 3. Bam! Lands on her fanny. Gets the 3.
It's a bad sign for USC. Davlin White starting off with a contested 3. The basket gets big, and she is definitely a streaky shooter.
USC coming in this game at 8-19, 5-11 in Pac-12 play. Nice stick back there by Marinacci.
The good news here is someone has to win. You know, both of these teams are tired of losing. USC, 8 straight losses. Arizona, 10 of the last 11 they've lost.
Barnes rims out. White trying to get that offensive carom, and the foul will go against USC and Alufai Tuli.
They've got Alufai Tuli on Davlin White, using all 6'1" of her size to try and disrupt her. Kama Griffiths knocks down the 3 between her and Davlin White. The two of them are in the top 15 in the conference for three-pointers made.
Griffiths really starting to get comfortable with this Arizona bunch. The transfer out of North Idaho College, missed some games for personal reasons, came back and has been lights out ever since.
Yeah, Kama Griffith is number 2 in the Pac-12 for threes made, and there's a number of players in this conference who will shoot from the tray. Also, Davlin White is number 4 in the conference for threes made. So those two you must identify on the three-point line. Kama Griffiths had a wide open look.
Boy, just like that, Marinacci counters with another deuce, so it's 6-4 with the senior keeping USC close.
She provides leadership for this team along with her rebounding and can be counted on for points as well. A nice mid-range jumper.
Nice look inside. Gloyd is blocked. Harberts with the rejection, and USC wants to run. Barrett drives, kicks, three-point opportunity, rims out. Look at USC crashing the offensive boards. They'll go to the line.
One thing USC teams do, and they have done under Michael Cooper, is rebound the ball. They crash hard. They're not necessarily even the biggest players. Marinacci is lean, although tall, but she's lean. But they are feisty, and they fight their way in. You must put a body on them.
Floyd put a body on Marinacci, picks up the foul, and Christina will toe the line. She's a 63% free throw shooter. Captain out of Santa Ana, California, gets the first one down.
Marinacci, right before the season started, came to media day and told everyone she wants to get to the tournament. She's a senior. She has never been there. She's been close. USC has been in the top 4 in the conference every single one of her seasons as a freshman, sophomore, junior. This year she's feeling the frustration, but says she doesn't regret any piece of going to USC.
All the way to the rack. Nicely done. Crutchfield with the gimme.
Well, full-court pressure from USC. Arizona barely had to put the ball on the floor. Just moved it with some passes and beat the press.
Marinacci will bring it up and give it up. Tully loses it.
Forces it in there.
Yep.
Marinacci did not have the right seal.
But White, that pass kind of airmailed on her, and there's the turnover, will go the other way.
Yep, on both ends of the floor, you're seeing the two teams have some trouble executing and reading for how to make the right pass. You've got to get the right angle, and your posts have to give you a good seal to make the entry pass inside.
Both of these teams are troubled by turnovers, and they'll have to put a premium on every possession. Rimming out. Who's going to get that ball? Davlin White. Out hustle. Kiki's got it. A near turnover. Unkind bounces for USC.
You have to box out. You have to box out against USC, especially Harberts. She wants to offensive rebound. She has 101 offensive rebounds on the season.
Almost 4 a game.
There are players who have 100 rebounds total on the season.
Almost 4 offensive boards a game. Crutchfield, rim didn't want it. That's a nice hustle rebound that time by Barnes. The ball will belong to Arizona. Good shooting by both clubs. We're tied early at 8 apiece here on the campus of the Wildcats. Near turnover. Crutchfield is able to corral it with plenty on the shot clock. Takes that high pick. Barnes rolls. There's the turnover.
Again, having trouble with that entry pass inside. Perhaps a pass fake and a bounce pass.
Barrett gets it money inside. Harberts, she won't miss from there.
2 players made that happen. Barrett pushing the tempo, not allowing Arizona to get back and set up in transition D, but Harberts working hard to get in deep, get deep. By the time the ball was passed, the layup was pretty much child's play for her.
Harberts and Marinacci doing the USC scoring. Another turnover, and here comes Barrett. She wants to push.
Good decision to pull it back out.
Nice soft touch. Out by Tully with the bucket.
Barrett doing a great job being a coach on the court, a general, knowing when to attack and when to pull it out, making good decisions, and her teammates better.
Arizona has been hurt by recent turnovers. The block is going to go against USC as Crutchfield goes hard to the basket, and Barrett is whistled for that foul.
Calls on 23, Brianna.
Tully the chance to come down, find an open gap, and knock it down. Great point guard play in transition.
4 assists on 5 made baskets for USC. That's good stuff.
How about 4 offensive rebounds out of their 5 total? They've got 4 second chance points already in the game. In Arizona, they've got to box out. I mean, they certainly are at the disadvantage on the height size. USC has 9 players on their roster over 6 foot. 4 starters over 6'1", while Arizona only has 4 players on their entire team over 6 feet.
Undersized as Crutchfield gets 1 of 2 free throws. It's a 3-point lead for USC with the lead with the ball. And Tully gives it up top.
Interesting matchup. You've got Davlin White on Cassie Harberts. White is much smaller, but she's gonna work the hardest. Coach Butts trusted her senior, she said her most competitive player, to guard Cassie Harberts, even though she's smaller, to just have the fight and the will to want to stay with her. And that's where the offensive foul there on Cassie Harberts comes, battling with Davlin White. White's able to draw the foul.
So now Kiki's got 2 fouls for USC. It looks like Dab cut her lip a little bit, so we're going to have a quick substitution for Arizona as Keandra Cannon checks in, and White will get a little attention at the end of the bench.
Keandra Cannon in this situation is a good substitution. Coach Butts says with the right concentration, Cannon could be our best defender.
Inside look for Poston, who's checked in now for Arizona, but she kicks it out. Crutchfield, and Arizona will be content to swing it up top.
Critical minutes right now without Davlin White on the court for Arizona.
Harberts with the push.
Critical for Arizona, critical for USC.
Harberts' first foul. There's Dab White, obviously bleeding.
They have to stop the blood before she can return to the court.
Dab White's a player that plays darn near every minute, so I guess she's getting a rest right now. Griffiths throws it away.
Davlin White is number 4 in the conference for minutes played. You just understand how important she is to this team, not just this year, but over the course of her career. Has played more minutes than any player in Arizona women's basketball history.
Speaking of memorable moments, remember she had that triple-double recently. No one's ever done that in Arizona women's basketball history until Dab White did.
Just hit 2,000 points last game. Only 2 players have done that in Arizona history, her and Coach Barnes out of Washington now.
To get that bleeding stopped. Arizona just not the same team without Dab White. So things have slowed down just a bit. USC still with the lead, single possession lead. Griffiths coming away with it is USC and Bradley. And here comes Barrett, the freshman. Tully wants to drive all the way to the rack, and she'll go to the line, getting hammered.
And that's an aggressive move for a very sizable guard in Alofi Tully. She sets it up with the crossover. She gets Griffiths to bite and then crosses over quick to get to the middle of the paint. And because she tried to finish with her left, that's how she was able to get the foul.
Griffiths got her. That's her first, team second. Alofi Tully, the sophomore guard out of California, does a nice job sticking that first one. She's a 62% free throw shooter. There's Dab White as USC continues to go to its bench. Now, Araya Crook, the 5'7" sophomore point guard, checks in for Michael Cooper. And Kiki gets the second one as well.
It's a 2-2-1 containment pressure zone here. Full quarter court. The idea is not to go for a steal, but more to take time off the clock. Or fluster Arizona, who just gives the ball up.
Harberts unselfishly underneath. Crutchfield got Marinacci. She'll go to the line.
USC playing very unselfishly, making the extra pass. This is a team that has played so many close games. You know, when it comes down to closing out those games, Coach Cooper said it's our turnovers. It's our inability to execute down the stretch, which he says often comes with younger players.
Davlin White back in. Crutchfield will take a seat. Marinacci now has 7 points. That's over what she gives you game to game, usually 6 points and all those rebounds. But she's been a real nice scoring burst for USC. She's got 8. Nice to see Kate Oliver back into the USC lineup. She missed those 6 games with the sprained right MCL. Nice to have the Aussie back on the floor for USC.
She was balling out before that injury. So
you're not kidding.
You know, you hope she can. One thing Coach said he might be worried about is her fitness level. She's had some big games right before getting hurt.
Nice follow-up, Jay, that time by Barrett. USC doing a nice job with the 2-point guards getting things done.
Barrett has made good decision after good decision. Impressive for a freshman. First to see her trying to box out Cassie Harberts. Cameron Griffiths is trying to box out Alofi Tuli, and the two of them get shoved into each other.
Oof.
And Davlin White kind of still dealing, now back on the court after dealing with a bloodied lip. But during that time, her team seemed really out of it on offense.
That's a good point. And White airmails another pass. She's got 2 early turnovers, and you could tell the frustration as she says, my bad.
One thing Coach Butts has said of her senior leader and all-star is that Davlin White has improved managing her frustration better. But you know, she said this is a team that can get down when things don't go their way.
Nice ball movement by USC. Harbert steps back.
Now Arizona in a zone defense. USC picking it apart. Araya Crook, she's got that 3. She will take it.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, she will. She scores more 3s than anybody on this club.
USC in a 2-3 zone.
Arizona needs a basket. They have been on a 3-4 minute drought. Home team and hometown rim didn't want it.
USC did a nice job of boxing out of the zone on that defensive set.
This ball movement. Another offensive rebound by USC and a fresh 30. Crook decides against it. Look at the ball movement, Roz. The defense having to play a little bit of catch-up, but Arizona gamely hanging in there. Wide open 3, though, for Crook. Rims out. Harberts, another offensive board. Marinacci, can she keep scoring? Didn't touch anything, so the shot clock continues, but plenty of time for USC to unload.
Now it's tough to rebound out of the zone, but you have to find Harberts and box her out.
Early on, it was Arizona busting a couple of triples, but Araya Crook says, I'm going to come right off this bench.
Exceeded expectations. This team was picked 9th. Colorado in the conference, they're now 19 in the nation. And lastly, the Beyonce Award for the fiercest senior, the best high-quality player with a lot of energy and emotion, goes to Chucky Jeffrey out of Colorado.
Love that pick. Speaking of seniors, Marinacci with another bucket. Arizona can't count on the other end. But a nice offensive rebound will get posted to the line. Nope.
Marinacci creating some offense off of defense. It starts with a steal by her teammate, and you see what she can dribble and push it out and finish in transition. Good handle for the big girl.
I'll say. Marinacci now with 10 points. She had 17 against Washington State. She's getting there.
Marinacci was certainly in the running for Elmer's Award of Best Blue Player in the Roscoe Awards. Just a different way of looking at the conference. Shout out to players like her who isn't necessarily the star, but gets it done for her team. And she's doing it in the paint.
Arizona looking to stop an 11-0 USC run, and that's missing right at the cup, and that hurts. USC run. Arizona led this thing 6-2, but you look at the scoreboard now, and it's been all Trojans since those initial 3-pointers by the Wildcats.
Arizona trying to speed things up, change the tempo of the game by picking up 3-quarter courts. But they just look a little lethargic out there.
I agree. On the run. A near turnover. Dab White, step back, drills it.
And Coach Butts said it. She said, when things don't go our way, our team can get down. I said, who competes then? She says, Davlin White.
Yep.
You know, if there's one player who can will it to happen, it's her.
Ends a 7-minute drought for Arizona. And aggressively, Harberts takes it to the cup, and she gets fouled.
Well, Poston didn't cut off baseline, so that's where she first made her mistake. And then Harberts is attacking so hard. If you get beat, at least try to keep your hand straight up. By trying to swat the shot last second from behind, you're putting yourself at risk for free throws and potentially bailing someone out who's going up off balance.
Poston picks up her second foul as Harbert's a 70% free throw shooter gets the first one down.
Harbert is attacking hard. Poston is late, cutting off the baseline, so Harbert's able to get the position she needs to go up, get low, and takes the contact for the foul.
Harbert's hands another one. She gives you 18 and 8 a game. Leads this club with blocks.
Forget the club, man. She leads the nation in free throw attempts. I mean, that's
10 a game.
10 a game.
10 a game.
Coming into this game, she had taken 258 free throws. No one else in the nation is doing that. And usually free throws are a good indicator of being aggressive.
Barnes, nicely done. Arizona finally crisp on that half-court execution.
Again, who's the ball coming from, though? Davlin White. All good things right now for Arizona going through White's hands.
We'll remind you about that triple-double she had a few nights ago against Arizona State. That means a lot of assists. White blocking out USC, but here comes a turnover. Block is going to go against Dav White. Crowd did not like it.
50-50 call.
Yeah. What do you think here, partner?
Mariah Crook is going to take it all the way. It looks like Davlin White is set up, but her feet are inside the circle. So Davlin White, no, she's there. Oh, you could say her feet are moving a bit too. I mean, it's a 50-50 call, but one thing is for sure, she's inside the cup. She's inside that circle. So it might be too deep to take the charge.
Crowd didn't like it as Griffiths has a seat. Crutchfield back in, and Crook, a 75% free throw shooter, gets the first one down. (27-14), USC with the lead. 10 for 10 from the free throw line is USC this first half. Block goes against Marinacci.
And they're trying to trap out of the pick and roll. Davlin White is so dangerous out of the pick and roll. They don't want to allow her time to either pop her three or read it and hit a rolling teammate, because she executed that amazingly against Arizona State in their just recent series. So what Coach Cooper said is, when she comes off that pick and roll, we are trapping hard.
Malafai checking back in for USC, by the way. Barnes, nice move, and gets the roll.
What's going to happen out of that trap is rollers will be open. The second and third pass will be there. You've got to cut to the ball and create an angle so that White can find you for the pass.
Look at the burst. Oh, burst to the cup. And this time, Crook will get whistled for the charge.
I don't want to talk about one player so much, but how much more can Davlin White affect the game? First on offense, then on the other side on defense. She is there. There's no denying it. She is set up, hands straight, her feet are set. Nope. Araya Crook should have floated that out earlier, or instead of taking a layup, got her feet under herself and pulled up for a jump shot. She got in too deep.
6 personal fouls now. Or excuse me, 16 fouls on USC. Same goes for Arizona. There's still a lot of time left in this first half. Crutchfield, nice jumper.
Crutchfield, that's what she can do. Coach Butts has said she is the best pull-up jumper on our team. She needs to be more aggressive.
Transfer out of Oklahoma State. Drills the 8-footer. Marinacci over to the other shoulder. Goes to her left and, to her right, and it didn't work out so well. We'll come back in just a couple of seconds. USC still with the healthy lead. The Pac-12 Wrestling Championship Tournament, live tomorrow at 6, only on Pac-12 Networks. USC inbounding, the easiest bucket Crook will have all night.
Mariah Crook, in her freshman year last season, was much more of a passer, a backup point guard after Ashley Corral. This season, plays like a 2 guard, looking for her shot.
Nice board that time by Marinacci.
Crook can also run some 1. And Coach Cooper has said she likes to score, and we like her looking for her shot.
I don't blame it.
Player to player now for Arizona. Big mismatch, Marinacci versus Crutchfield inside.
Good half-court defense by Arizona. Mixing it up is Nia Butts. Cannon came down with the rebound. She's got the ball. Let's see who that's going to go against. Ooh, that's lucky for USC as Harbert's. Well, she picks up her second, but that would have been Alofaitule's third if it would have gone against her.
And Alofaitule just completely bails out Davlin White. Cassie Harberts is doing a great job of moving her feet in the trap. And so by fouling at the last second, that's now allowing Davlin White free throws when she was really in a moment of distress, far away from the basket.
Davlin White, a 74% free throw shooter. 5'11" senior out of Phoenix. A surprising miss for that kid, who's usually pretty darn steady at the charity stripe. Hook checked away. The ball will belong to USC. 22 on the shot clock.
You have to be careful with the ball around Davlin White.
Quick hands. She'll make you pay.
Number 4 in the conference for steals. You know, she's top 10 in this conference in so many different categories. Only really one category she's not, and that's 14 in rebounding. But keep in mind, she is the only guard in the top 15 in the Pac-12 that's ranking in the top 15. I mean, that's impressive. The rest are all posts. So great guard rebounding.
Herbert's that shot was affected a little bit. Wild scrum for the ball, and Arizona will have it. So you talk about where she fits in terms of the conference, Roz. That's just impressive stuff.
And you know, we talk so much about her points, but she's able to create offense off the defense with her steals. And what makes players great, you often hear, is how they make other players better. And she does that with her assists. She attacks with her head up.
Griffiths didn't have her legs underneath it, a little short there. Boy, once again, Dab White has spent most of this game on her fanny.
Well, she's just hustling. She's sacrificing her body. She's not afraid to run there and try to take a charge or dive for the loose ball. These are blue-collar efforts from a white-collar, top-of-the-conference type player.
Yeah, that's a great point. She'll get down and dirty, do whatever she can. It's been a rough go for Arizona, and Dab White is just trying to will them to victory. Crutchfield with the good hands. Can't finish as Marinacci goes hard to the floor. She got fouled.
Marinacci's rebounding the heck out of the ball right now. Last season, as a junior, she led the team in rebounding. This year, still up there, but Cassie Harberts has taken the crown, leading the team in scoring and rebounding.
Griffiths fouling Marinacci. That's her second. Team 7. Marinacci, the lone senior on this club, rims in the first of the 1-and-1.
She's got big plans after playing collegiate ball. She wants to be a broadcaster. She actually took a trip up with Darcy Couch, their SID, to the Pac-12 Network's studios in San Francisco and took a tour. And she's being proactive about building her career and learning what happens inside the studio.
Love it. Nice kid, very personable, charming. So Crook is going to get whistled for that foul. That's her second.
But it's nice, though. It's excellent timing for her. You know, the Pac-12 Network's deal isn't just nice for having TV games for the players and you get to watch them on TV, but it's also, you know, opportunities after college. And you know, Christina Marinacci sees that. She got to talk with some of the broadcasters and announcers. And she said it was a very fulfilling trip, one that made her excited about life after ball.
Telling you, she's going to be a real candidate as White gets that first free throw down.
Well, Davlin White, very different. I asked her what she wants to do. She wants to play ball after college. I said, well, what else do you like besides basketball? She said, you know, pretty much everything I like is gravitates around basketball. And she goes, well, I like kids. I like to teach kids basketball.
Okay, there's the basketball theme again. Marinacci with another board.
She might be a coach one day.
All right, I'll take that. Marinacci now 6 boards, make that 7 to go along with 11 points. Harberts. White goes flying. Marinacci with another offensive rebound. Man, has she been tough down low.
Who is Marinacci today? Who is Christina?
Man.
She's playing possessed. Good for the senior.
13 points now for Marinacci.
And a steal. All right, guard, get it back to her. Go inside.
Nice ball movement. Harberts releases. Blocked by White.
Two blocks?
Physical play. Davlin White down low going up against Harberts.
And Coach Nia Butts predicted this kind of game during shoot-around this morning. She said it's going to be a physical game, and she knew it. She said USC is going to be physical inside. We've got to bump and bang with them. It's Marinacci, Christina Harberts. They're both going hard for it inside, but you see Arizona fighting. Marinacci fighting harder.
Off the turnover, Arizona rims out. Nice board there by Alexis. Viola Tama gives them a little length for USC. Crutchfield. Viola Tama got her.
And while Arizona didn't have numbers on that transition play, I'm sure Coach Butts is happy to see the aggressive mentality out of her point guard, the transfer, Crutchfield.
9 team fouls now against USC. There's Nia Butts as Crutchfield will toe the line.
Coach Butts said, you know, she came in to shoot around today, if you remember, and she comes in and she's boxing. She's bouncing, swinging at the air like she's Muhammad Ali or something. And I said, Coach, do you box? She said, I used to. She's like, I just got to get myself going. If I don't do it, who will? And, you know, no matter where you are in the season, one thing I saw in both of these teams' practices was an upbeat spirit. You know, these teams are still out here competing and working hard, playing for positioning and momentum for the Pac-12 tournament.
I mean, you never know, and this is not a bunch of hooey. You never know what could happen in a postseason tournament. I mean, look what happened to USC last year when Washington State stuns them in the tournament.
USC had entered the tournament the number 3 team in conference and gets upset by number 11 Washington State.
And that's as Arizona completes the fast break beauty. That's what can happen in tournament play, and that's as a coach, right, Ross?
Yeah.
You sell your team, anything can happen.
And if anyone should understand that, it's USC. USC was having a very solid season last year, but that devastating loss really blew their NCAA tournament chances. You know, they should have made the tournament. They finished 6 strong, but lost that game and it was over.
So Arizona,
it'd be tight. Washington, should they pass on with Oregon, that Colorado game would be interesting. They've been fighting it out all season for 4th. And then finally, if Arizona were to beat Washington and saw Cal, that could be potential there. 91-86, Arizona played Cal close recently. So you never know what's going to happen in this Pac-12 tournament. It'll be exciting.
Marinacci with that rebound now is in rare air for her. So she is now tied for 10th all-time. The lone senior on this club with that offensive rebound is now tied for 10th place. All-time rebounding mark. And that's going to go by the wayside. She's going to be all alone in 10th place. It's just a matter of time.
You think of the legendary players that have played at USC, to be in the top 10 in this program, that's something to be proud of.
Big triple. Viola Tama nails it.
Well, Viola Tama is 3rd on this team for made threes. Now she plays inside, but she can step back and hit that shot.
I guess. Arizona trying to counter. 10 on the shot clock. Floyd, nicely done.
Lloyd is providing the interior presence that Coach Butts says this team needs. She's very long and athletic, and you see that there as she's able to put the ball on the floor and attack baseline.
Her first couple of points of the game, she averages 10. Arizona needs her to put the ball in the basket. Nice pick that time by you-know-who. Man.
She plays so hard. She wears her heart on her sleeve on the court.
She's a little gassed right now.
And she's smart, though. She baited USC into that and played in the passing lane.
The quick hands of Barrett creates the turnover. They say it went off Crutchfield, and the 5'7" freshman. That was a savvy play.
Davlin White limping back down the other end on defense. She's banged up. Her knee hurt as she fell down on the floor there to grab the ball.
You're right. She's not gassed. She's a little banged up. You're absolutely right. Harbert's with the good hand. She's doubled. Air mails it. Barrett pulls up. Harbert's. Wild shot from Cassie. You rarely see that. Refs letting him play. And here comes Crutchfield. Buck 45 left in the first half. Floyd, single coverage. Nice block that time by Bradley. Here comes USC. Spinorama, how about that, huh? Violatama.
That was a beautiful move. Going fast, but under control with the spin to the basket. She's been coming on as of late. Just had a career high 14 points against Stanford on February 15th. You look at a move like that and you think that no Joe Schmo could have made that. Violatama was a
breakdown the first half of this game. Michael Cooper's got to be happy so far with the way his club is playing.
And he said he wanted to come out and execute. One thing he said that was interesting, if you don't have great pieces, you have to make the pieces you have fit. And he wants to put his team in a position to be successful. And he laughed and said, I've been spoiled. I've been coaching a lot of great players over my career. Lisa Leslie, Ashley Corral, Brianna Gilbreth, Jackie Gemello. So he says, these are young players, and I have to be patient.
So jump ball, the possession arrow favors Arizona. There's Coop. All those great years as a Laker, and obviously with the WNBA, LA Sparks, and the championships. And we saw a quick shot of Dav White on the bench. Remember, she was rubbing that knee. Maybe they'll shut her down the rest of this half. So Leanna White, no relation into the Arizona lineup. With 17 on the shot clock for the Cats. Uh-oh. Good hands there. Crutchfield trying to get something going. Coming up with it is Barrett. Up top, Harberts, can she corral it? Yes, she can.
Well, USC was sitting in that zone, and Arizona just very stagnant around the three-point line, passing. They're not attacking the middle of it. You've got to get the ball to the middle of the zone and make the zone shift so you can find some open looks.
Should mention Rachel Totten into the USC lineup. Just a smidge of a difference between shot and game clock. Crutchfield can't turn the corner. Leanna White, that shot was blocked, I think. And that is how the half will end. Arizona led this thing 6-2. And from there, USC caught fire. Marinacci, Harberts, and company. USC leading Arizona 39-26. Davlin White shows you how tough she is.
Well, Arizona head coach Nia Butt said she knew the game would be physical, that USC would try to bump their guards on their cuts. And Coach Cooper of USC said, hey, we're going to try and be physical and big on Davlin White. And you see her on the floor a lot all game. She was banged up and actually had a bloody lip, had to sit out till the blood stopped. So she's got to be tough through this second half. Her team needs her on the court.
And she is on the floor, and there is the strip by Dav White. Gives it up. And Barnes is not able to finish. That hurts.
But with that steal, Davlin White is now number 2 all-time in steals with 260 career picks.
Number 2 in steals, number 2 in points. Arizona's going to have to take advantage of high percentage shots like that, though, the one that Barnes missed, if they're going to claw back into this thing.
Arizona in a 2-3 zone.
Harbert step back.
What you saw there, especially by Cameron Griffiths, was a concerted effort to box out.
Dav White, air ball. Floyd with the follow.
These first couple of minutes out of the second half are going to be key for either team, either throwing the knockout punch or fighting their way back in.
Harberts That time she got her down.
You can't allow Cassie Harberts to seal against the zone so deep. You know, when she's that close to the basket, she's money. You've got to push, and when she isn't deep, you've got to cluster her with extra players.
Harberts now with 10 points to go along with 7 boards. Remember, she gives you 18 and 8. Nice little step through. Barnes gets her down.
Barnes has been quiet, but one thing Coach Butts has said is she's got a very nice touch around the rim. We've got to get her more touches close to the basket.
6 now for Barnes. Harberts goes up again.
Bang.
Yeah.
Body. Beast.
Love it.
That bucket.
She went up against Barnes one-on-one to score. Floyd returns the favor. Fast-paced second half to begin.
It's a battle of the bigs right now. It's in the paint.
USC with the 11-point lead early in the second half. Crisp ball movement by the Trojans. Offensive rebound yet again for USC. They have made a living on the rebounding end. Nothing called. Physical play. Here comes Crutchfield. She's got Barrett to beat. Switches hands. Forced shot that time. Bradley with the board, and here comes USC.
Barrett did a nice job on transition defense of making Crutchfield change her directions. And that's what threw her off for the layup.
Barnes whistled for that foul, her first, as Harberts did a nice job getting inside position.
No, Barnes has to continue to not try to block Harberts out with her hands. If she does it with her feet and gets low and moves her feet, she could actually get Harberts called for the offensive foul, who's leading with her backside and pushing back. But if you use your hands, you're going to get called for the foul.
Turnover while we were away for just a second, and Barnes gets her down.
Right now, both teams are doing a good job of spreading the wealth, passing the ball. They each have 6 players that have scored tonight.
Rimming out. Crutchfield comes away with it. Arizona staying alive and hanging in there. Crutchfield.
That's her shot.
Nice hustle that time by Floyd to keep the ball alive and give Arizona the fresh 30.
Floyd and Barnes in the interior for Arizona have become energized in the second half.
I couldn't agree more. Noticeably different. White drops it off. Another assist for the great Dav White.
And that's just Davlin White reading off of the pick and roll. She saw the defense overplay her to use the screen, and instead she goes baseline, draws the help D, and kicks it over to her teammate.
Arizona really coming out with a burst to begin this second half. Check out the pass.
Defender drives with her head up, makes the extra pass. Extra rotations are laid, and Arizona finishes Gloyd under the rim.
Gloyd has really come out with some intensity. The bigs for Arizona finally getting into the fray. And the score has Arizona coming back. Another USC turnover. Here comes Crutchfield. Marinacci hustling to turn her off. White again. Wow, another assist. This time it's Barnes with the gimme.
Well, USC is in a player-to-player defense, and if you notice, they have Alexis Violatama on Davlin White. They're trying to use size against her. Well, Davlin White used speed against her, and by blowing past her, she draws the defense and makes another great pass.
5 assists now for Dav White. Marinacci is able to keep the ball alive, and USC's got a fresh 30.
This is something USC has struggled with, playing 40 minutes.
Yep.
2 good halves. In fact, Coach Cooper has said if games were 20 minutes, we'd be 19-4.
That's a great point. Garbage bucket that time for Marinacci. She'll take it. And she's got 15 points. 2 off of her season high. Crutchfield stops and pops. Marinacci with another board. She's got 12 of those. So 15 and 12 now. Marinacci with her second double-double of the season.
Cassie Harberts demanding the double. If she pivots, she's got a wide open teammate in the corner, weak side.
Barnes with a little bit of a push. She got away with it, so the turnover is going to go against USC. Arizona's still playing catch-up.
We talked about a tale of two halves. USC, they played Cal and UCLA recently strong in the second half, but they played so poorly in the first, they really couldn't get back into it.
White with the hesitation and the teardrop gets her down.
So USC in danger of having a weak second half here. Need to get it back and get some good plays.
White now in double figures. Marinacci, she was fouled.
Holding foul, Arizona's number 4.
Crutchfield whistled for her second. Davlin White.
USC has played so many games close this season. Four losses by 5 points or less. Their last 5 of their games recently have been against top 20 teams. They went through that tough streak that every team is going through in the Pac-12 when you've got Stanford, Cal, UCLA, and Colorado all in the top 20 in the nation.
Just a brutal February for USC. They went winless in that month. So many close games.
And what's tough for USC is their travel partner is UCLA, number 17 in the nation. You know, Washington has to play Washington State twice. USC is going to have to play a ranked team twice. So that's a little bit tougher on their season, too.
8 on the shot clock for USC. Marinacci rims out the triple. Griffiths, who's been quiet after hitting that initial 3, is able to get that ball to go off USC, and it's Arizona's ball. Only down by 5. A nice start of the second half for this Arizona club, who's played with much more intensity and passion in the second half. Boy, you rarely see an air ball from Dav White. Inside, Harberts steps back. Nice touch.
That's a very nice move for Harberts. Good footwork. She created some space with her dribble and showed you she can play, you know, away from the rim as well.
Griffiths air balls the triple. Harberts now with 14. Marinacci with 15. The 1-2 punch for USC. Turnover Trojans.
Well, if you notice right now, USC is deliberately trying to get the ball inside more. The last 2 plays, Harberts has been the target. And before the game, she said, you know, there are spurts when our team goes without getting me a touch. And not only do they have to look for me more, but I've got to get my seal together. We can't go that long. I have to touch the ball.
Griffiths gives it up to Dav White, who's been assisting quite a bit this second half. Crutchfield with 9 on the shot clock, gives it up.
White's getting a lot of assists because she's getting so much attention for her scoring.
Wild shot that time by Poston. Arizona has had 3 straight air balls and then a shot going off the top of the glass. And another turnover for USC. Let's see if Arizona can take advantage. Griffiths, she loves that spot. Barely hits the front of the rim. Cold outside shooting for Arizona. Jump ball and possession favors the Cats. Back in a minute.
Think is the number 1 out of Cal. Christy Kingma, she's the 3-point shooting threat to Davis's scoring option out of Washington. For Oregon, Ariel Thomas, she complements the freshman Jillian Aileen, who rebounds so well, and you've heard of Shanae Agumake out of Stanford. Jocelyn Tinkle is that too. Number 2 option that keeps the defenses honest, and Taryn Wachowski out of Utah, she gets so many doubles in the paint. She's the one kicking it out for her teammates.
Love it. Love the Batman Robin theme there, partner. Well done.
You know who Batman is. What about Robin? The Pippin to their Jordan.
There you go.
These players are the best at complementing the best.
Beautiful ball movement by USC, and Viola Tama drills it.
Viola Tama, although she'll play wing or post sometimes, she's actually got the best shooting percentage from 3 on this USC Trojan team. She's shooting about 37% from 3. That's strong. You got to come out and guard her.
And her conference numbers are up as Crutchfield draws the foul. Mariah Crook with her 3rd foul. Crutchfield towing the line.
Crutchfield on the line, shooting 2.
She'll get 2. Transfer of Oklahoma, transferring from Oklahoma State.
And, you know, after the tragic plane accident where you lost the lives of Coach Bucky and Miranda Cerner, the assistant coach, Oklahoma State players were allowed to transfer, and without any penalty of having to sit out. And she put out the word, and Coach Butts immediately got on it, developed a relationship with Carissa and her mother, and she ended up from Oklahoma and Arizona.
That's good stuff, Roz. As Oliver corrals her own miss, and she'll go to the line.
Coach Butts said she just understood the importance of having, you know, another point guard, someone of that quality talent level in her program, and got right on top of the recruiting of that player.
Cannon whistled for her first foul as Oliver goes to the line, the 6'4" junior out of Australia. Arizona now with 3 team fouls, USC with only 1. Arizona still hanging around. Crutchfield running the show. On the shot clock for Dab White. Crutchfield launches the 3 and drains it.
This is a different team in the second half for Arizona. And it's the biggest difference is it's not just a Davlin White show, which it was in the first. Here you're getting a number of teammates, inside and out contributor.
Crutchfield now with 11. Harberts can't get it, but there's a lot of black jerseys around that ball. Possession arrow on the jump ball possession will favor USC.
Well, Crutchfield's going to get a 3 here, but it's because of good ball movement. Coming off of the pick and roll, defenders are waiting for Davlin White to either create a play or pass to the roller, and Crutchfield is left wide open for a shot.
Like I said, 11 points for Crutchfield. That's 5 over her seasonal average. That's a nice bonus for Nia Butts. And White content to rack up the assists. She's got 6 helpers now.
She might have a triple-double today in points, assists, and steals.
Rebounding, she's been quiet. Steals, she's been all over the place.
She's got 6 steals in the game. 6 assists to go along with her points.
Another outside jumper for Arizona. You know, they had airmailed 3 straight jumpers before the break, and now they hit a couple in a row. It's a 1-possession lead for USC. They led by 14 in the first half. Harberts rims out. Boy, Marinacci with her 15th rebound. She'll go to the line.
And it's just more ball movement around the 3-point line. The USC defender is late in getting out to contest it. And for Arizona, Coach Butts has said it. We get frustrated when we're down, but it's also that also means the team gets up with the highs, and the basket is big right now for Arizona.
Cannon with her second foul as Marinacci toes the line. More subs coming in for Arizona. Floyd and Griffiths. Marinacci with 15 points and 15 rebounds. USC with 21 offensive rebounds. More offensive rebounds than defensive caroms at 20. Wow.
41 rebounds at this point of the game total is pretty insane.
I mean, this is a USC club that'll give you about 39 boards a game, and they're over that with 9:23 left to go. Wow.
And actually, it's Arizona that's the team that's better in conference play for offensive rebounding. They're right in the middle of the pack at number 6.
Marinacci will have a seat. Dab White will kick it. Cannon wants to tee up another 3. Gets her down. Wow, Cannon off the bench and drilling it. The closest Arizona has been in a long, long time. Griffiths with the board. And look at this. Arizona has a chance to take the lead. They haven't led since 6-4 early in this game. Barnes Almost knocked away. Backdoor cut by White. Ooh, the quick hands of Crook.
It's so hard to guard Davlin White. And because you have to try, and you see all the defense, all the players cluttering around Davlin White, the shot is open, and no one likes it more than Coach Butts.
So Arizona misses, and here comes USC on the other end.
If USC is going to pull this game out, it's going to be in the hands of their big girls. Cassie Harberts or Christina Marinacci. They've been the ones getting it done.
Harberts now with 16 points. That was a big 4-point swing as Arizona misses, and USC with the fast break hoop. Dab White is bumped by Oliver.
That's fancy. Yo, splitting this, let me tell you, splitting a trap is hard enough, but to do it by going behind your back, that's just fancy.
I like it.
That's a lot of mustard on your hot dog. I love it. I love it. That's gutsy. Because first of all, you can't even see the ball as you're putting it around your back. You're really taunting the defense. You've literally put it in front of their face as you slip it through the seam. That's gutsy.
So Dav rimming out. There's her dad. What a ball player. Look at him all by his lonesome up there. On the opposite side of the arena is Dav's mom, Colleen Wilson.
And so like parents, you know, to need to sit alone and really watch their kids play. You know, that you hear stories all the time where you're more nervous watching your own child. You don't even enjoy your own child's games. You're just sitting there nervous. But you understand that this college thing is finite, and Dav's time in an Arizona uniform is coming to an end.
So we'll come back in just a second with USC leading by only a deuce now.
We're getting back in this thing.
Keandra Cannon with 8 points.
And Keandra's just come alive in the second half, and Coach Butts could not talk enough about her potential. All she's looking for is more consistency out of Cannon.
How about out of the timeout? Mariah Crook draining the triple.
She's got a big heart. Her freshman season, she hit huge shots. Overtime victory against Cal, she scored all the points in overtime. She shows up when her team needs it.
She's got 10 points now. What a potential for this kid. Just a sophomore out of LA.
She likes this moment. She's not afraid of it. The only thing is with young players like that is you want to make sure they don't get over aggressive and carried away. You want to still get good shots.
Posting back in for Arizona. And Gloyd will take a seat. Gloyd with a nice start to the second half. 7:16 left to go. 56-51 USC. Arizona trailed by 14 in the first half, by 13 at the break.
Both coaches have mentioned that their teams have been in this position before. But when fatigue comes into play, they have a hard time executing, and they often turn it over when it matters.
White kicks it, Crutchfield shoots it, three-pointer is way off.
Another good open three-point look that comes from the penetration of Davlin White.
Bradley sinks the triple. How big is that? Wow, her first three of the game, and it gives USC the 8-point lead.
Bradley staying with it. She's known.
So USC led 51-50, and Arizona had the ball and a chance to take the lead. Wasn't able to get it done, and a couple of long balls for the Trojans has that lead back to 8. 6:33 left to go in this second half.
You know whose hands that ball is going into for Arizona. Against Arizona State here, we talked about Davlin White's triple-double. 31 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists. She's not afraid to go for it and put the team on her back.
Fast break hoop. USC gets her done. Off the board, and bam, they strike quickly.
Just like that, it's a 10-point lead for USC.
White with the left. She'll go to the line.
White typically attacks the rim harder going to her right hand. But she understands now that it's a 10-point lead. She's got to be more in attack mode.
Her fourth, third team foul. 2 shots, Devlin White.
White gets that first one down. Hey, tomorrow at 2 on Pac-12 Networks, Arizona State travels to Tucson to face the 15th-ranked Arizona Wildcats in the annual Gymnastics Territorial Cup Showdown. Live coverage starts tomorrow at 2 o'clock on Pac-12 Networks.
Right here in this building. Right here.
All right, so Dav White with 13 points now to go along with 8 assists. Oliver rims out.
And Arizona doing a better job of keeping USC off the offensive glass in the second half.
Cannon has a couple of long balls. Dribbles and pops, but the back rim didn't want it. And here comes USC. Barrett sizing up the half-court D. Marinacci back in the USC lineup, having a terrific game. Harbert's tough shot.
Wow.
Man, tough shot for Harbert's.
That's my breakdown. Wow.
18 and 10 now for Harbert's as Marinacci fouls White. That's her second foul.
Okay, you're starting to see a reminiscent play. Devlin White attacking on her end, but it's Harbert's. You know, it's so hard because she can attack you and try to bang you to the bang hard with you to the rim, but when she can step back and shoot that shot, it's very hard to guard her.
What a release by Harbert's. She's just rock steady every single game.
And right now, her rebounds on the defensive end are huge.
Harbert's
Great
steps
footwork.
through. Yeah, they talk about her footwork, don't they?
She took her time. She avoided the travel. With just 2 steps, she was able to split the defense and keep body control so she could finish the layup. And mind you, we're talking about Harbert's, who's the number 3 scorer in the Pac-12. She's only a junior.
Cannon with her third foul. Harbert's completes the 3-point play. She has got 21.
21 and 10, a double-double in the game. Harbert's talked. I spoke with Harbert's. I said, you know, you play against some of the best big girls in the nation in the Pac-12. Janaea Blumike, Jennifer Brandon, Wachowski in the post for Utah. How do you feel like you can go against them? She said, this year I'm finally starting to feel that confidence in the paint.
Harbert's goes for the steal. Instead, she fouls Barnes. And Barnes has a chance to complete the 3-point play.
But Harbert's doesn't look fazed by it. She's moved on to the next play already. And here's a junior who has increased her scoring ability last season, 11, 12 points, now 18. That also comes with an increase in confidence.
Harbert's has started every single game of her career, joined the 1,000-point club recently. Nice pick by Griffiths. And Arizona's going to need to score quickly. White pulls the trigger. Nice board by Marinacci. 16 rebounds to go with 16 points. White gives it up. Another assist for White, and Crutchfield gets it down.
Timeout Trojans.
Yep, I mean, you got to love the fact that Crutchfield has come alive. She's equaling her season high with 13 points. And that's her moving well.
Let's belabor the point.
All right.
And she's taken 2 charges.
Okay.
I don't know. What more?
Wow, what a clutch shot by Bradley, who's got 6 points, both of them via the triples.
Bradley, one of 3 players on this USC team with more than 1 year of experience for the Trojans. So right now, when you think about who's playing big, it's Marinacci, Bradley, and Harbert's, all 3 of those players with experience.
Marinacci yanking down another rebound. 17 rebounds for Marinacci.
We told you it would be a battle of greats here tonight. Two great individual players going at it right now in Harberts and White.
Harberts kind of throws it to an open space. And one on the shot clock.
Woo-hoo!
Good.
And that's Keandra Cannon making the defensive play. I want to come back and tell you, Coach Butts said she could be their best defensive player.
Here's a huge triple for USC. Lucky, but right here then. And join us for Pac-12 Playbook following the game. You'll get the courtside inside from the fellas calling all the shots. That's Pac-12 Playbook coming up next, only on Pac-12 Networks. Arizona running out of time as USC has taken some counter punching by the Cats and extended the lead once again. Marinacci doing it all. Points, rebounds, and how about that clutch block?
You know, she's a player that's known for her leadership on this team, not necessarily her stat line. Today, getting it done every way for her team.
Barnes short on that shot. With that rebound, Marinacci has now tied her career high with 18 boards. Wow, what a game for the senior. 16 points, 18 boards. The captain, the lone senior, Marinacci, has been terrific. Harberts stepping back, so strong.
So strong. And she says her natural position is a 4, but she says, I play a lot of 5 for this team, and I'm working on my strength. You see how tough Harberts plays in the paint. Off the court, she is so soft-spoken. She's kind of silly and fun and very sweet girl out of San Clemente, a beach girl who likes country music. And it's just so tough on the court.
Cannon. Barnes with the nice hustle. These two clubs met in late January at the Galen Center. And USC won that one 74-57, and they're about to complete the sweep. Up 71-58. It didn't seem that long ago, Roz, when Arizona had cut the lead to 1 and actually had the ball. Could have taken the lead, but an air ball. Actually 2 or 3 straight air balls, and USC was able to counter with a couple of their own jumpers, and here we are. Boy, how big has Desiree Bradley been? All of her points coming via the three-point land.
Did you see how excited Cassie Harberts was for her, though? The two of them are, as she described, attached at the hip. Two best friends out there, happy for each other.
Bradley with 9 points now.
1 minute.
She had 11 against UW with 3 triples. Well, she's got 3 triples again tonight.
Substitution timeout, Rachel.
I'm impressed with USC. They had given up that big halftime lead. It was down to 1 point their cushion, and now look at them with a good stretch run.
During the Arizona run, the ball did not go inside to Cassie Harberts. When they started to come back, Harberts had her hands on almost every play in the paint.
Harberts and Marinacci have combined for 39 points and 29 rebounds. Wow.
I think Marinacci is the one that sparked this team to their great play. The senior leadership, just her effort, her heart out there on the floor, she led this team tonight and overplayed her season averages.
Terrific game for Marinacci. Barnes as well, tying her season high. She's now got 15, but too little too late. And USC is going to get out of Dodge with a big victory, ending that skid. And you know they're just going to be awfully happy in the locker room tonight. This is going to be USC's first victory, Roz, since January 27th. Crook with her 4th. And Michael Cooper, who kept his team loose, keeps them believing, playing for that magical run in the tournament. And this is a big victory for USC.
And for Arizona, this continues to be a learning moment for this team. So it's late in the season. Most teams are not still figuring out how to do things, but more fine-tuning the process. For Arizona, they can walk away from this, and Davlin White knows she put her best effort out on that floor.
So the losing streak is over. USC winning on the road. The final 74-62, a team effort for the Trojans.